This performance contains strobe effects, gunshots and loud sudden noises. For the unlikely event of emergency, please take a moment to locate the nearest exit to you. And now, sit back and enjoy the show.
There is an art to the building up of suspense.
Heads!
Though it can be done by luck alone.
Heads!
If that's the word I'm after.
Heads!
A weaker man may be moved to re-examine his faith, or at the very least, the art of probability.
Heads! 76.
The law of probability, as it has been oddly asserted, is the principle that if 6 monkeys... The law of probability, if I've got this right, means that if 6 monkeys were thrown up in the air, they would land on their tails about as often as they would land on their...
Heads!
Which at first glance does not strike one as a particularly rewarding speculation. I mean, you wouldn't bet on it. I mean, I would, but you wouldn't, would you?
Heads! Getting a bit of a bore, isn't it?
Bore?
Well,
What about suspense?
what's suspense?
It must be the law of diminishing returns. I feel the spell's about to be broken. It wasn't even chance, if my calculations were correct.
Heads!
What does that make it then?
85. Beating the record.
What?
Easily.
Absurd. Is that as far as you're prepared to go, though? A new record?
Well,
I mean, no pause, no questions,
I won, didn't I?
not even a flicker of doubt.
Well, you spun it yourself.
And if they come down like at you like that, 85 times in a row,
85 times in a row. Tails?
yes, what would you think?
Well, I'd have a good look at your coin for a start.
I'm relieved. We've been flipping coins together since... Well, it's not the first time we have spun coins.
Oh no, we've been flipping coins for as long as I can remember.
How long is that?
I forget. 85 times, mind you.
Is that all you're prepared to imagine? No fear?
Fear?
Fear! The crack that threatens to flood your brain with light.
Well, what's the matter with you?
It must be indicative of something, besides the redistribution of wealth. List of possible explanations. 1. I'm willing it. On the inside where nothing shows, I'm the essence of a man flipping double-sided coins, betting against himself in private atonement for an unremembered past. 2. Time has frozen, and the individual's experience of flipping a coin has been repeated 85 times. On the whole, doubtful. 3. Divine intervention, that from above concerning him, Lot's wife, like the children of Israel. 4. A spectacular vindication of the principle, and that the individual experience of a coin spun individually means that each individual time is equally likely to come down heads as it was the last time, and therefore should cause its own surprise as each individual time it does.
I've never known anything like it.
He has never known anything like it. She has never known anything like it. Solution the second. She has never known anything to write home about. 2. She has never known anything like it. 3. It is nothing to write home about. Home. What's the first thing you remember?
The first thing that comes to mind, you mean?
No, the first thing that you remember.
It was a long time ago. It's coming to my mind.
I think that you understand. What's the first thing that you remember after all the things you've forgotten?
I see. I forget the question.
How long have you suffered from bad memory?
I can't remember. Remember?
Are you happy?
What?
Content? At ease?
I suppose so.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I have no desires. None. The syllogism the second. Probability will operate as a factor within natural forces. 2. Probability will not operate as a factor. 3. We are currently held within unsub or supernatural forces. Discuss. Not too heatedly. Scientific approach to the examination of phenomena is a defense against the pure emotion of fear. Keep tight hold and hold me careful. It may prove a comfort. If we postulate, and we just have, that within unsub or supernatural forces, probability will not operate as a factor, then we must take it that the first part will not operate as a factor. And if probability won't operate as a factor, and since it obviously hasn't been, we can currently take it that we are not currently held in unsub or supernatural forces. In all probability, that is. Which is a great relief to me personally. Which is all very well, but we've been splitting coins together since I don't know when, and in all that time I don't suppose either of us have been a couple of pieces up or down. I hope that's not surprising, because it's very unsurprising. This is something I'm trying to keep hold of. This makes for a kind of equanimity, or rather a confidence. As one won't upset himself by losing too much, nor upset his opponent by winning too often. This kind of equanimity, this law, this tendency, is something that we now recognize as nature. The sun went up about as often as it came down. In the long run, a coin showed heads about as often as it showed tails. Then, today, a messenger arrived. We had been sent for. 89 coins consecutively came down heads 89 consecutive times. And for the last 3 minutes, on the wing of a windless day, I've heard the sound of drums.
Another curious scientific phenomenon is the fact that the fingernails grow after death, as does the beard.
What?
Beard.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, fingernails, they grow after death.
But the fingernails don't grow at all before birth.
I think you're confused. So what happens is, the fingernails, they grow throughout your life, before birth, and after death, although the beard does not grow before birth.
And your toenails?
My toenails. Well, my toenails, they never grow at all.
They never grow at all.
Do they? It's a funny thing. Every time I think to cut my fingernails, they need cutting. Now, for instance, although the best of my knowledge, I can't recall cutting my toenails. They must be curled under my feet by now, but it doesn't happen. Perhaps I do it absent-mindedly, when I'm thinking of something else.
What's the first thing you remember today?
I woke up, I suppose. Oh wait, that man, a foreigner, he woke us up.
Yes. Messenger.
Yes, a pale sky before dawn. He stood in his saddle to bang on the shutters and shouts, "What's all the row about?" But then he called our names. Remember, this man woke us up.
Yes.
We were sent for.
Yes.
And that's why we're here. Traveling.
You better get on.
Yes. On where?
Without much conviction, you better get on.
Yes. I say, I think I hear drums.
A man making his journey between two separate places of no particular place or character says, "My God, I thought I saw a unicorn." You see, this experience, it cannot possibly have been real. This drums that you're hearing, they can't possibly be real. But if a second man shouts, "My God, I thought I saw a unicorn," this adds a second dimension and serves to spread this experience across these two separate people. If a third person, however, shouts, "My God, I thought I saw a unicorn," this serves only to spread the experience thinner and doesn't add a further dimension. And this continues on and on and on until, "My God," says a crowd, "a horse with an arrow in its head." It must have been mistaken for a deer.
I knew it all along. It was a band.
She knew all along it was a band.
Here they come.
I'm sorry it wasn't unicorns. It would have been nice to have unicorns.
gentlemen on the road, you would not hope to meet them off it.
No?
Well, matter of fact, and just in time.
Why's that?
Why, we grow rusty, and you catch us at the very point of decadence. By this time tomorrow, we may have forgotten everything we ever knew. That's the thought, isn't it? We'll be back to where we started, improvising.
Tumblers, are you?
We can give you a tumbler if that's your taste, and times being what they are. Otherwise, for a jingle of coin, we can do a selection of gory romances, pirated from the Italian. And it doesn't take much to make a jingle. Even a single coin has music in it. Tragedians, at your command.
Hello, I'm Guildenstern, this is I'm sorry. That's Guildenstern, and I'm Rosencrantz.
Pleasure. We've played to bigger, of course, but, quality counts for some. I recognised you at once.
And who are we?
Fellow artists.
I thought we were gentlemen.
For some of us, performance. For others, it's patronage. They are two sides of the same coin, or, there being so many of us, the same side of two coins.
What's your line?
Tragedy, sir. Deaths and disclosures, universal and particular. Denouements both unexpected and inexorable. Transvestite melodrama on all levels, including the suggestive. We transport you into a world of intrigue and illusions. Clowns, if you like. Murderers. We can do you ghosts and battles on the skirmish levels. Heroes, villains, tormented lovers. Set pieces in the poetic vein. We can do you rapiers, or rape, or both. By all means, faithless wives and ravished virgins. For granted delecto at once, and that comes with realism, which there are special terms. Getting warm, am I?
Well,
It costs little to watch, and little if you get caught up in the action, if you get my drift, and times being what they are.
what are they?
Indifferent.
Bad?
Wicked. Now, what precisely is your pleasure? Gentlemen, support yourselves! There. See anything you like?
How much?
To take part.
To watch.
Watch what?
A private performance.
How private?
Well, there's two of us, is that okay?
For an audience, disappointing. For voyeurs, about average.
And how much?
10 guilders.
10 guilders?
I mean it.
Together.
Each, I don't think you understand.
What are you saying?
What am I saying? 7. We've been round about. Child companies, they carry the custom of the town. Juvenile companies, they are the fashion. But they cannot match our repertoire. We'll stoop to anything if that's your bet.
They'll row up.
There's one being born every minute. Oh! Home, sir.
Where from?
Home. We take our chances when we can find them.
It was chance then.
Chance?
You found us.
Oh, yes.
You were looking.
No.
Chance then.
What fate?
Yours or ours?
Can't even one about the other.
Chance then.
We take our chances where we can find them. Tonight we can play the court, or the night after, or the tavern. Or
Perhaps I could use my influence.
at the tavern.
At the court, I would say I have some influence.
Oh, would you say so?
I have influence, yes.
Yet what?
I have influence. You said something about taking part.
I did. You're quick, friend. Now, for a handful of guilders, I happen to have a private and uncut performance of the rape of the Sabine women. Or, rather, woman. Or, rather, Alfred. Get your skills on, and for 8 you can participate, taking either side or both for 10, with encores. Get your skirts on, Alfred.
Could have been. It didn't have to be obscene. It could have been a bird falling bright feathered onto my shoulder. It could have been a tongueless dwarf by the side of the road to point the way. But no, it's this, isn't it? Nothing classical, nothing portentous, just this. A comical pornographer and his rabble of prostitutes.
should have caught us in better times. We were purists, though. Onward! Halt!
So, you're not exclusively players then?
We conclusively players, sir.
Yes, there's more money in that, is there?
There's more trade.
Times being what they are.
Yes.
Different.
Completely.
How much would you do for that?
Leave it lying there. Perhaps when we come back this way, we'll be that much cheaper. On! Hold! What kind of bets do you have in mind?
Double or quits?
Well, heads.
Again? Heads. Heads. Again?
Heads.
Heads it is. Again? Heads. Again?
Tails. They don't like yawns.
After 6 in a row, I'd say they were in your favour. No, you were right. It is heads. Again?
No.
Heads.
No.
Again?
No.
Heads. Again. Heads. Let me hear if your birth double is an odd number.
My birth?
You don't trust me, don't bet with me.
Would you trust me?
Bet with me.
You're on.
Okay. So, you ready? The year of your birth entered in your mind, okay? Now, double it. If it's odd, you win. Evens, I win.
We have no money.
Perhaps one of your plays then.
Please.
I thought you were actors.
Well, we are, but there's been much call.
One of the Greeks, perhaps. I'm assuming you're familiar with the Greek tragedies. Matri, Fractri, Sorori, Luxori, Sorori. And it goes without saying.
Saucy.
Suicidal.
And vice versa.
Well, I can't really say we're from that. We're more from the blood, love, and rhetoric school. Well, we can do blood and love without the rhetoric, and we can do blood and rhetoric without love, and we can do all three concurrent or consecutive. But we can't do love and rhetoric without the blood. Blood is compulsory.
Is that what people want?
It's what we do. 38!
Position?
Sir.
One of your tablets.
There, no, sir.
Entrances there. Aren't you going to change into costume?
I never change out, sir.
Well, aren't you going to, I don't know, come on?
I am on.
But if you're on, you can't come on.
I started.
Go on, we'll wait for you.
I'll give you away.
Excuse me. Thank you. Well, I say that was lucky.
What?
It was tails.
Come on.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to speak with you. The need we did have to use, you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it? Sith nor the exterior nor inward man resembles that it was, what it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and sith so neighbour to his youth and haviour, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time. So, by your companies, to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure, two men not living, here 'tis more. If it will please you to expend your time with us, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits the king's remembrance.
Both your majesties, by the sovereign power of your state that you have over us, may you put your effort into command rather to entreaty.
But we both obey, and give ourselves over in full bent, and lay our services freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz, and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern, and I beseech you to instantly visit my much-to-changed son.
Yes, Majesty. And heavens make our presence and our practices agreeable to you.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are dutifully returned.
Thou hast still been the father of good news.
Do I, my lord? I assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king, and do not think for this brain of mine, for I found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I want to go home.
Don't let that confuse you.
You made me look ridiculous in there.
I looked as ridiculous as you.
Consistency is all I ask.
Give us this day our daily mask.
I want to go home. Which way do we come in? I've lost my sense of direction.
The only beginning is birth and the only end is death. If you can't count on that, what can you count on?
We don't owe anything to anyone.
We've been caught up. Even your smallest action sets off another, and is set off by it. Keep an eye open and ear cocked. Tread warily. Follow instructions. We'll be all right.
For how long?
Until events have played themselves out. There's a logic at work. It's all done for you. Don't worry. Relax. Enjoy it. To be taken in hand and led again like a child, even without the innocence. A child. Like a prize. An exercise of childhood when you least expect it. A prize for being good. Or at the very least, compensation for never having had one. Do I contradict myself?
I don't remember. Okay, what have we got to go on?
We have been briefed. Hamlet's transformation. What do you recollect?
Well, he's changed, hasn't he? The exterior and inward man fail to resemble...
Our job is to draw him onto pleasures and then glean what afflicts him.
something more than his father's death.
It's a matter of asking the right questions without ever giving anything away. It's a game.
Right. Shouldn't we be doing something constructive?
What do you have in mind? A short, blunt human pyramid?
We could go.
But why? They have us placed now. If we go, they'll be chasing us around all night.
Well, I mean, we can go after him.
But why? I mean, they've got us placed. You see anyone?
No, you?
No. What a fine persecution. Be kept intrigued without ever being enlightened. We've had no practice.
We could play questions.
What good would that do?
Practice.
Statement, one love.
Cheating?
How?
I haven't started yet.
Statement, two love.
Are you counting that?
What?
Are you counting that?
Foul, no repetitions. Three love, first game to me.
I'm not going to play if you're going to be acting like that.
Who serve?
Huh?
Foul, no grunts, love one.
Who's go?
Why?
Why not?
What for?
Synonym! Point to me.
What does it all add up to?
Can't you guess?
Are you addressing me?
Is there anyone else?
Who?
What?
Are you serious?
What are you
that rhetoric?
No.
Statement. 2 all. Game point.
What's the matter with you today?
When?
What?
Is there a choice?
Is there a god?
Foul. Rhetoric. 3-2. Game and match to me. What's your name?
What's yours?
I asked you first.
Ha! Statement! Point to me.
What's your name when you're at home?
Is it different at home?
Why'd you ask? What home?
Haven't you got one?
Why'd you ask?
Frederick. Point to me.
Who do you think you are?
Oh, Frederick again! My point.
When's it gonna end?
That's the question.
It's all questions. Does it matter?
Doesn't it matter to you?
Why should it matter?
Why does it matter why?
Doesn't it matter why it matters?
What's the matter with you?
Doesn't matter. Rosencrantz!
Who was that?
You didn't know him.
You didn't know me.
He didn't see you.
I didn't see him.
We shall see. He's changed.
You could see that?
Transformed.
How?
Inside and out.
I see.
He's not himself.
He's changed.
I can see that. Clean to fix him.
Me?
Him.
How?
Question and answer.
What?
He's afflicted.
Ah, he's not himself, you know.
You question, I'll answer.
I see. So he's you.
Not a bit of it. Are you ready?
Well, let's. Wait. I got it. Okay. How should I begin?
Address me.
My dear Guildenstern.
You've forgotten, haven't you? Say.
My dear Rosencrantz.
I don't think you quite understand. What we are attempting here is a hypothesis in which I answer to him whilst you ask me questions.
Ah, ready?
You know what to do.
What?
Are you stupid?
Pardon.
Are you deaf?
Did you speak?
Not now.
Statement.
Not now.
Oh, I get it. You pretend to be him, and I'll ask you questions.
Very good.
You had me confused.
I could see that.
How should I begin?
Address me.
My honored lord.
My dear Rosencrantz.
How? Am I pretending to be you then?
Not a bit of it. If you like, shall we continue?
Yes. My most dear lord.
My dear fellow.
How are you?
Afflicted.
Really, in what way?
Transformed.
Inside or out?
Both.
I see. Not much new there.
Well, go into details. Delve. Probe the background. Establish the situation.
So your uncle is the king of Denmark.
And my father before him.
But surely,
You might as well ask.
to sum up, father is king, you are his only son, your father dies, you are of age, your uncle becomes king.
Undid me.
Unorthodox. Where were you?
In Germany.
Usurpation then.
He slipped in.
Which reminds me,
Well, it would.
your mother's marriage.
He slipped in.
The body was still warm.
So was hers.
Extraordinary.
Indecent.
Hasty.
Suspicious.
Oh, her husband's brother.
I don't think I hadn't thought of it. They were close.
Too close.
Comfort.
It adds up.
Incest and adultery.
Did you go so far?
Never.
So to sum up, your father whom you love dies, you are his only heir, and your uncle you find that hardly was the corpse cold, for your uncle hopped onto his throne and into his sheets, thereby offending both legal and natural practice. So why are you behaving in this extraordinary manner?
I can't imagine. It was all a well-known common property, and he did send for us, and we did come. Go and see if he's there.
Yes.
What is he doing?
Talking.
To himself? Is he alone?
No.
He's not talking to himself, is he?
Not by himself. Coming this way, I think. Should we go?
Why?
sir, shall grow old as I am, and will walk backwards like a crab.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. Most honourable lord, I most humbly take my leave.
You cannot take anything, part with all from my life, except my life, except my life, except my life.
Fare you well, my lord. Would you receive the Lord Hamlet? There he is.
God save you, sir.
My excellent good friends! How dost thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz. How do you both? But there is something more natural, if philosophy could find it out.
There are the plays.
Gentlemen, you are always welcome to Eldenmore. Take my hands, and if fashion and ceremony could let me comply in this garb, entertainment will be more than yours. You are always welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad, northwest, when the wind is southerly. I know a hawk from a handsaw. Look at this great baby. He is yet out of his swallowing clouds.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Rochus was an actor in Rome.
The actors have come hither, my lord.
Follow him, lords. Mock him not. We had a play tomorrow. You, sir. And you play the murder of Gonzago.
I'm
Excellent, excellent. We have a play tomorrow. You could do research or study of some dozen, 16 lines that you could insert for I, could you not?
my lord.
Excellent! Follow him, ladies. My gentlemen, you are always welcome.
So, you've caught up.
Not yet. You left us.
Yes, sorry to miss it. A dramatic spectacle by the wayside, a thing much praised in the New Testament. How did it compare as an impromptu?
Badly. Neither witnessed nor reported.
Ah, yes, I'm sorry I missed it. I do hope you didn't miss anything out.
We can't look each other in the face! You don't understand the humiliation of it. To be tricked out of a single assumption which makes our existence viable. Somebody is always watching. The plot was 2 corpses gone before we had the chance to look around and see ourselves stripped naked in the middle of nowhere, pouring down a bottomless well. There we were, demented children, mincing about in clothes that no man ever wore, speaking tongues that no man ever spoke, declaring love in wigs and rhymed couplets, killing each other with wooden swords, and every gesture, every pose vanished into thin, unpopulated air. We ransomed our dignity to the clouds, and the uncomprehending birds listened. Don't you see? We're actors. We're the opposite of people. Think in your head now. Think of the most private, secret, intimate thing you've ever done. Secure it in your knowledge. Are you thinking of it? Well, I saw you do it.
It's a lie. You couldn't know.
We're actors, secured in the conventions of our trade, but somebody is always watching. And then gradually, nobody was. We were caught high and dry. It was not until the murderer's long soliloquy that we had the chance to look around. Frozen as we were, we searched you out. First confidently, then hesitantly, then desperately. Our heads began to move, wary as lizards. The corpse of unsullied Rosalinda peeped through his fingers, and the king faltered, but we still kept going, with this hope that perhaps you were watching behind the nearest bush. But nobody came forward. Nobody applauded. The silence was unbreakable. It imposed itself upon us. It was obscene. So we took off our crowns and our cloaks of gold and moved silently on the road to Elsinore.
Oh, brilliantly recreated. Didn't quite get you. These eyes could be. A bit stronger metaphor, mind you. Not a criticism, just a matter of personal principle.
Next.
What are you expecting?
I don't know.
What do you think of the future?
Well, I mean, it's a normal thing, really.
One is, after all, having one all the time. Now. And now. And
Go
now.
on forever. Well, not forever, I suppose. Do you ever think for yourself it's actually dead, lying in a box with lid on it?
No.
Oh. Nor do I, really. Still you'd be impressed by it. I mean, one thinks of it like being asleep in a box. One keeps forgetting to take into account the fact that one is actually dead, which should make a difference, shouldn't it? Not that I like to sleep in a box, mind you. I mean, without any air, you'd wake up dead for a start, and then where would you be? Apart from inside a box. That's the bit I don't like, frankly. That's why I don't like to think of it. I mean, you'd be trapped in there, wouldn't you? In a box like that. Okay, I mean, if I asked you straight up, I'm gonna stuff you in a box. Would you rather be alive or dead? Naturally, you'd prefer to be alive. Life in a box is better than no life at all, I expect. I mean, you can lie in there thinking, well, at least I'm not dead. In a moment, someone's gonna come out and bang on the lid and say, hey, you, what's your name? Come out of there!
You don't have to flog it to death.
I wouldn't think about it if I were you. You'd only get depressed. Eternity is a terrible thought. I mean, when's it going to end? What became of the first moment one realized that we don't go on forever? I mean, there must have been a moment, a second in childhood, when you just realized that we don't go on forever. It must have been shattering, stamped into one's memory. And yet, I can't recall it. I mean, out we come, bloody and squalling, that for all the knowledge in the world, there is only one direction, and time is its only measure.
Death followed by eternity. The worst of both worlds. It is a terrible thought.
Right, we haven't much time.
What are you doing?
Dress rehearsal. Now, if two of you wouldn't mind moving back, I'm there. Right, is everybody ready? And for goodness sake, remember what we are doing. We always use the same costumes, more or less, and we forget what it's supposed to be in, you see. They're a bit out of practice, but they always pick up wonderfully for the deaths. It brings out the poetry.
How nice.
There's nothing more unconvincing than an unconvincing death.
I'm sure.
Act 1 moves now. precise, really. It makes the action that follows more or less comprehensible, you understand. We are tied down by a language which makes up in obscurity what it lacks in style.
Who was that?
Lucian, the king's brother and uncle to the prince.
Not exactly fraternal.
Not sickly avuncular as time goes on.
Go to! Oh, no more on it! It has made me mad! I say we'll have no more marriage. Those that are already married, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery go.
That didn't sound like love to me.
Starting from scratch. At the end.
That was a mess!
It's gonna be chaos on the night.
Keep back. Spectator.
Act 2 positions.
But that wasn't the end.
You call that an ending? With practically everyone in his feet. Oh, goodness no, over your dead body.
How am I supposed to take that?
Lying down. There's an art, there's a design at work in all art. Surely you understand that. Everything must play itself out to a logical, moral conclusion.
And what's that in this case?
Oh, it never varies. But generally, we make sure that everybody who is marked for death dies.
Marked.
Between just desserts and tragic irony, we require to scope for our particular talent. Generally, things have gone as far as they could possibly go. Things have gone as bad as they could possibly get.
Well, who decides who dies?
Besides, it's written. Now, if you're going to be subtle, we'll miss each other in the dark. I'm referring to oral tradition, so to speak. We're actors, you see. We take direction. There's no choice involved. The good and unluckily, the bad unhappily. That is what tragedy means. Musicians. Having murdered his brother, wounded the widow, poisoner, mounts the throat. Here we see his bride gain that unbridled passion, she was alone.
Oh, I can't hear, really! You can't do that!
Why not?
Well, people want to be entertained. They don't come expecting sordid and gratuitous filth.
They do, you're wrong. Murder, seduction, incest. What do you want? Jokes?
Well, I want a good story with beginning, middle, and end.
And you?
I prefer art to mirror life, if it's all the same to you.
It's all the same to me, sir. All right, no need to indulge yourselves. I come on in a minute. Luciana's nephew to the king. Next. Lucianus, nephew to the king, usurped by his uncle and shattered by his mother's incestuous marriage, loses his reason, turning the court into turmoil and disarray, staggering from the suicidal to the homicidal. He at last confronts his mother in a scene that can only be described as provocative ambiguity. And begs her to repent and recant. The king, shattered by guilt and fear, dispatches his nephew to England, accompanied by two smiling accomplices, spies, giving them a letter to present to the English court. They embark on board ship. They arrive and disembark and present themselves before the English king. But where is the prince? Where indeed? In a twist in fating cunning has put into their hands a letter that seals their deaths. Traitors hoist by their own petard, or victims of the gods? We shall never know.
I never forget a face. Do I know? No. You must be mistaken. You don't know me.
Are you familiar with this play?
No.
A slaughterhouse. 8 corpses all told. It brings out the poetry in us.
What do you know about death?
It's what the actors do best. They are conditioned to it. Actors must do what they are told to do, and they are told to die. They can die heroically, comedically, tragically, ironically, rhetorically. My specialism is a lot more specific. I extract significance from melodrama, which on its own doesn't hold much substance. When looked at from just the right angle, you break the shell of mortality.
Is that all they can do? Die?
No. They kill beautifully. Some of them kill better than they die, some of them die better than they kill. They're a team.
Which ones are which?
There's not much between them.
Actors. The mechanics of cheap melodrama. You scream and choke and fall to your knees, but it doesn't bring death home to anyone. It doesn't catch them unawares and start the whisper in their ears which says, someday you are going to die. You've died so many times, how can you expect them to believe it?
On the contrary, it's the only kind I do believe. I had an actor once who was condemned to hang for stealing a sheep or a lamb, I forget which it was, but I had permission for him to be executed in the middle of the play. I had to change the plot round, but you know, I thought it'd be convincing. And you know what? It just wasn't. The whole thing was a disaster. He just stood there and cried right out of character. Never again. Audiences know what to expect. That is all they are prepared to believe.
No, you've got it all wrong. Death isn't screaming and choking and falling about. It's just a man simply failing to reappear. There is no romance in that. There is just silence and some second-hand clothes. And slowly it just gathers momentum and momentum more and more until finally it's heavy with death.
Oh, Guildenstern.
You're wanted.
Friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, hasten this.
Was he dead?
Death's death, isn't it?
Properly?
It's death. He's dead.
Hamlet!
Don't be absurd.
Lord Hamlet! What, my lord, have you done with the dead body?
Compounded it to dust. Where to, 'tis king?
Tell us where 'tis that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
King, with the body, but the body is not with the king. I be the sponge of the replication of the king's son.
Take you me for a sponge, my lord.
Aye, sir. The king uses his officers, his servants, his services, and keeps them in a cage, like an ape. First mouthed, last to be swallowed.
I understand you not, my lord.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord?
Of nothing! Bring me to him.
Bring him before us.
Ho! Bring in the Lord!
What is Hamlet doing?
Talking.
To himself? Is he alone?
No, he's with a soldier. Yeah, he's not by himself, but he's coming this way. I think we should go.
Why?
We are to go to England.
I like to know where I am. Even if we don't know, even if I don't know, I like to know that. I mean, if we go, there's no way of knowing.
No knowing what?
If we'll ever come back.
We don't want to come back.
That may very well be true, but do we want to go?
We'll be free.
I don't know. I mean, it's all the same sky.
We've come this far. And besides, anything could happen yet.
There will now be a 15-minute interval.